Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome to Wednesday, 28th of May, 2025. Another episode of the EV Show by Ludicrous Feed Live. Thanks so much for joining us. Apparently there's some other event on tonight, but if you couldn't join us, that's okay. Watch on replay, and hello as well. And thanks for watching us, and thanks for listening to us on audio podcast as well. Should be good. Lots to chat about as always on the show. Let's welcome our regular co-host as always, Mr. Riz Akhtar. Hey Riz, how you going?
Hey Tom, going well. Really excited about today's show. We've got lots to chat about. There have been some big industry shifts. I've got some insights off the back of that. Since our live stream, I've been out of the country. I flew back this morning, had to close out some Bonza deals, and here we are. So lots to share and lots to learn from all our audience as well.
Yes, we'll get on to what you got up to this week, Riz, very shortly. But welcome back into the country, and again, the commitment you show to the show and to the EV industry is just phenomenal. Thank you. All right, well, let's thank our sponsors as always to start with. So that is, of course, My Car, Tyre and Auto. Thank you also to Carloop, data to empower Australia's EV revolution. Thank you to Riz and Richard and the rest of the team. And thank you also to Hankook as well, Driving Emotion. Nice of you all to sponsor the channel, that's great. And also to start off the show, just wanted to plug the Melbourne International EV Auto Show. That is coming up very shortly, I believe in about a month's time. Riz and I are very much involved with this show. There is a special link in the video description, so check that out for some discounted tickets. And Riz and I will be on stage occasionally during the show with some other special guests. So lots to talk about, lots of trending topics and lots of EVs, of course, as always, to see. So get on to that. We'll keep talking about this show as the weeks roll on. Richard is saying, thank you, Richard. He's saying that it's going to be bigger than Shanghai. Well, we'll see, hey? We'll see. It's big footsteps to fill there, Richard, but we'll see what happens. All right, well, speaking of Shanghai and China, Riz, you were spotted in a video this week, I believe, in one of Gavin Shoebridge's video of the BYD Yangwang. Let's have a look. There's the dancing car we all know. And I think there you are. There's the man himself, Hollywood Riz. Spotted.
Oh, it's my doppelganger. I wasn't there. Yes, I was there on the way to closing down a few of Bonza's operations, but also to see what some of the cool tech that BYD had. I mean, a lot of it, Tom, we've seen it on the channel already, but also it was just good to see it sort of in person, and what sort of some of their newer technologies around suspension, ride handling, I guess all the smart driving stuff they're bringing into international markets, and some of the newer products as well. That the Denza with tri-motor setup, something that looks like a Range Rover that they've been working on, that was launched only a couple of weeks ago. 1,000 kilowatt charging, got to see a bit of that as well at one of their main showcases in a city of, I think it's pronounced Zhangzhou. 2.5 hours northwest of Shanghai, which is also where it's not even a gigafactory, it's more like a terafactory of how big this thing is going to be when it's finished. I saw BYD Sharks come off the line. That was quite cool. A lot of their other products that they're sort of also working on as well, and stamping, casting, all of those other things that are involved with putting a car together. So quite impressive, and thank you to BYD for giving me a chance to go and check that out. And for others that are interested, check out some of the videos that Tom has already done from the trip last year, where you visited Xi'an, Shenzhen, and a few other places as well, Tom. So that's very exciting. So anyone that's interested, feel free to check those out until that time when I can start to put some of the stuff that I got a chance to see on the show in the coming weeks.
Yeah, that's great, Riz. Thanks for sharing with us what you saw in China. Yeah, BYD, hosting a lot of media there. I can see Australia and New Zealand media tour. Some familiar faces as well in the crowd there amongst the U9. Did they let you see this thing drive on 3 wheels or perhaps in the water in submarine mode?
No, not this thing. Did get a chance to do some of the off-roading stuff in the other brand that they have, Fengcheng Bao. They've got a few electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles that are basically built for off-roading to a certain degree. I mean, off-roading is a loose term, but did get a chance to do a bit of off-roading. I've never done anything like that before. Like I don't remember, Tom, we did the LDV a couple of years ago where they had us drive one of their utes in an off-roading track in Southern Highlands.
Mm.
This was a little bit different where it was actually a pretty narrow track given how wide some of these vehicles are. They're wider and bigger than Land Cruisers.
Yes.
But just the technology inside, it doesn't feel like a clunky diesel. It doesn't feel like anything. It's like you're driving on pure electric range, particularly when you're doing those off-roading things in the middle of a fairly quiet off-roading track where all you hear is birds chirping and the branches that you're crunching over.
Quiet bush bashing, hey? I'm up for
That's
that
it.
on riding on pillows. But yeah, good to see you had a good time, and I'm glad Bonza brought you back safely as well. So thank you, Riz.
They did.
Excellent. Well, let's say hello to some of our regular guests as always. Look, we'll get on to more BYD news, of course. Big news this week from BYD themselves, so we'll get on to that very shortly. But let's say hello to some of our regular members and guests. Hello, Jeanette. Looks like her Atto 3 got updated this afternoon. Fantastic. My Seal did as well, so some nice goodies there I can see. Richard saying, yes, stream's going to be good today. Hopefully it's meeting your expectations. Yes, hello there. Hello also to Murray S. Hello there. And hello to Rob S as well. Hello, Evie Az. Nice to see you. Hello, Lewis. Good to see you. Hello, Brett McDonald from Perth. Yes, and hello also to Sensei. Thank you for that Ludicrous Feed membership. Thank you, Ray. And thank you. Hey, Ryan's Model Y. We've got a celebrity amongst our midst here. Hey, Ryan. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. And yes, what is a state of origin? Well, yes, there's something else happening on tonight as well, but there is a poll. I've just asked, just to make me feel better that we're streaming tonight, which would you prefer to watch, this or State of Origin 1? Look, I've got the scores in the background as well, so I'm also keeping myself informed of what's happening, given I am living in New South Wales, of course. Go the Blues. Hello, S. Padaval. Hello there. Hello. Good to see everyone joining us. Yeah, make sure you hit that like button as well. Thanks for tuning in. Now, Riz, I'm sure you can't share everything publicly what you learnt, but of course we learnt while in Australia, while you were away, that, of course, the big news this week is that EV Direct and BYD HQ have decided to part ways in terms of distributorship into Australia for cars. Looks like BYD HQ will be taking over that role, and EV Direct will be, I guess, forming a new group called EV Dealer Group, I guess teaming up with Eagers, that's my understanding, and also part of the dealer network here in this country.
Yeah, there's multiple parties there. A bit of transition for some, and for others, it's a good way to sort of take over. Take over is probably a strong word, but start to do the proper distributorship in the sense that eventually a brand gets big enough in a country where through distributors, it's not really a possibility anymore. And we've seen that before. Kia, Hyundai, other brands have done the same thing. They start off with a distributor and then eventually they grow enough of a footprint where they can start to manage a lot of that stuff in-house. I think this is a great thing for customers. I think there's been 50,000 cars that they've delivered is definitely not an easy feat in under sort of 3 years for any new brand. But at the same time, hasn't come without hiccups. We've sort of seen that with our owner friends on the channel, on the live stream. Some of the challenges they've had around wait times, around things like such as Tesla Supercharging and other sort of challenges that they've had along the way. But hopefully it means now with BYD taking ownership of the distribution, there's one point of call and no one can point fingers at anybody else. And hopefully it means that, customers in the end get great service, and it encourages more people to, take a leap of faith and buy an electric car that's backed by the factory.
Yeah, absolutely, Riz. Well said. I think there's no doubt that EV Direct have done some good things in this country. They basically brought a brand new unknown brand, to Australians anyway, into the country, and as you said, sold all these cars And look, obviously they've made mistakes along the way. We've all watched it, but they have been relatively transparent with us anyway. Offering information. Obviously, some other things like supercharging, as you mentioned, for Atto 3 owners, not so good on that front. But now that HQ is here, we can hopefully get some clearer answers now that it's going straight into HQ, so to speak, up to their pipeline for transparency and service. So I guess there is some questions I have. What happens with servicing? We've obviously EV directors set up massive showrooms and servicing centers in Sydney, particularly. What happens there? Does BYD take over that, or is EVDG going to now continue with that aspect? Can you share with us?
My understanding, and obviously I know as much as I guess anyone else reading those press releases, and I guess putting a bit of the flavor of the industry on, I think the dealers and the showrooms that are established, including their service centers, will continue to operate the way they're operating. That is what Eagers' commitment would be as part of that deal. Uh, that's probably what is going to happen with um, that EVDG as well, where they are part of the whole retail side of things. Part of retail is servicing, and at the same time, after sales and all of those other things will sort of be managed by BYD Australia when it comes to things that are outside of sort of the dealership realm. So I suspect the servicing will be similar. I'm not sure about the partnership with my car, whether it stands, it doesn't stand, how it works, but at least now, nearly 2.5 years since I think the first, nearly, yeah, 2.5 years since they first delivered their cars, we have enough of a footprint of BYD's own um, dealers run through Eagers that people can feel a bit more certain that they don't have to take it to the local my car to get a service done, when they can hopefully be able to do it more seamlessly through the BYD front end, and the back end would, where all of the work actually gets done, should be at your local dealer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, this was probably on the cards. I think those in the industry were hearing whispers of this happening in terms of the takeover. We saw that in Germany, like late last year, when the sort of HQ took over their distributorship there. So I think there was always a hint that this was going to happen. I think overall this should be a better customer experience for all of us owners and potential owners as well. I'm curious to see how BYD HQ will continue to market the vehicles. I mean, I think EV Direct have done a reasonable job with their activations, and particularly the Shark. I think they've done a great job with the Shark. It's everywhere. You talk to the average person, they know about the Shark Ute, really, at least in the circles I mix with. You see the advertising, billboards, you see the ads, you see, the Roosters being sponsored by BYD. So I think, yeah, hopefully HQ can continue and foster what EV Direct have done. So yeah, I think this is good for all of us here in Australia. So good to see. We see other brands like Zeekr. Zeekr is HQ run. Geely's HQ run. Xpeng Riz, I think that's the other curious one. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. Will True EV continue with that, or will the HQ take over as well? That's the question.
Yeah, that's always I guess any new brand that is established with a distribution sort of a model, um, unless it's one of the bigger distributors. So we're thinking like Atico that does LDV. I think they also do Renault. Um, Inchcape that does Subaru, but also does Deepel in recent times. Um, that's sort of, they're the two main distribution groups. And then EV Direct obviously has been around for a couple of years. True EVs likewise. I guess it depends on what the brand wants to do. How much ownership in the sense that ownership of the customer experience does the brand want to take themselves, versus testing the waters. But eventually, it's just inevitable whenever it does happen. If the brand feels confident enough in a particular market, they might as well run their own operation, obviously obliging to whatever contracts they had with the distributors of that particular country. So, yeah, time will tell. Another thing I'm curious about with Xpeng in particular is what happens in New Zealand. New Zealand is a different market. New Zealand for BYD, as far as I could tell, still had a different distributor although EV Direct and others always sort of said, yes, we have something to do with it, but as far as I know, they ran their own show. And I've quite an interesting sort of trend, or something I learned on this particular trip, is the business fleet and the government fleet penetration is very high for EVs and BYD products in particular. And we just don't have that here in Australia.
Mm.
So quite a large percentage of vehicles are in government fleets, BYD vehicles, electric vehicles in government fleets over there, that they've done in the last 2.5 years. And we have not had that penetration at all. So clearly shows there's a big difference in distributorship. So I think time will tell. But in the meantime, with Xpeng, New Zealand market, what's happening with that one? Because that is an important market as well for right-hand drive vehicles.
Interesting you say about fleet, because having gone to Hong Kong a few times with different brands now, you can see it at Hong Kong Airport. It's there are actually Dolphins on the tarmac driving, different things around for Hong Kong Airport. So it's you're right, Riz. I think it's probably a big fleet customer. And yeah, you're right. I don't know why BYDs aren't in, for example, government corporations, or just fleet buyers for. Yeah, council's correct. It just makes. I've seen MG4s around, but not too many BYDs. So yeah, there's a hint for you guys. BYD HQ. I think you need to get your cars into government fleets and sort of big corporate customers, right? Let's take some of the comments from the audience just about this topic. So hopefully we'll get better service. I agree, Tristan. Hopefully it's more transparent as well. Better communication will be nice, just around things like the supercharger issue for Atto 3s. Does this mean we will have more dealer stock? Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Service is still in the hands of Eagers and EV Direct, according to Richard. And also, what have we got here? Love to see the Seagull arrive here in Australia, or otherwise known as Dolphin Surf, I think it is. You were saying last week, Riz? Yep. And over here, it would be nice to see Dolphin a little cheaper as well. Yeah, well, I mean, sub $30,000 for the Essentials Dolphin. We haven't seen that just yet, though. Supercharger update for State of Origin. New South Wales leading the pack. 42, Victoria 33, 17, Queensland. What can I say? By the way, the score is still 0-0 in the actual State of Origin. No, sorry, 2-0 after 10 minutes. It must have been a penalty or something. Okay, here we go. Let's take some more comments. Lots of shark complaints around towing, apparently, not being able to being close to the range promised. In terms of electric range, or fuel range, I guess that's the question.
Maybe towing capacity?
Yep, 2.5 tons. Yep.
Yeah, but maybe they can't tow close to that, or in the tests that have been done. Interesting.
How asks, where's Roland? Yeah, Roland sends his apologies tonight. Maybe he's watching the State of Origin. Who knows?
Hey, well, look, we need people on the ground.
That's right.
And Roland is the top spec king when it comes to making sure he's getting the latest information, even if it is watching State of Origin.
Correct. That's all right. Actually, the poll, 79 votes, 86% say they'd rather watch Ludicrous Feed live stream. So there you go. Woo. Thank you, Riz, and I feel very loved here. Lewis is saying, yeah, Dolphin Surf correct for the Seagull. Any news on the Seagull, Riz, when you were there, or can you not share publicly?
I did drive it in the on-road section of it, and it sort of validated some of the things I picked up when I first drove it a couple of weeks ago. It's even more fun in controlled environments when you're, let's just say, having a bit of a go-kart sort of experience, and it genuinely is a lot of car. It hasn't been confirmed. We don't know. All I can say is it was there to be driven. So that could be saying something, that may not be saying something. So if it's an Australia and New Zealand media tour and the car is there, you would think that maybe it's something that they're either trying to get feedback on to see what that car is going to be like. But, off the record, on the record, it was the most popular car amongst all the people that drove it. So Whether BYD, it's going to the UK, we know that much. We sort of know the European pricing as well. It's a different car to the car they sell in China. But in China now, BYD's gone on a bit of another price war campaign till the end of June. The Seagull starts at under 12,000 Australian dollars.
Oh, my goodness. That's insane. So we know the Dolphin was a bigger car when it came to Western markets. So the Seagull might have to be modified as well for us.
It is. It's modified. It's got about another 210 millimeters of length on it.
Ooh.
And it's slightly taller as well in the European market.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, I think BYD has big plans. I don't think they will leave any product segment unturned or have something there just to give consumers choices. Whether it happens this year or next year with the Dolphin Surf, we'll find out. But it is still a very exciting car and one of the best-selling cars, hands down, in China.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we have to call it the Albatross if it's bigger than the Seagull in China. Now, speaking of small cars, so I actually have the Hyundai Insta in my hot little hands today. So the embargo is Friday morning, so watch out for that video. Can't say anything about the drive impression yet, but all I can say is I love it. It's really good. So hang out for that video coming to Ludicrous Feed very shortly. Hello, Gaffer. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Also, what have we got here? Yeah, Kia doing very well with fleet buyers. Good. And yes, correct. Hyundai as well. I need to keep pronouncing this right. Hyundai. Here we go. So apparently, car experts saying fuel consumption during towing of the Shark is bad. Okay, I guess they've tested it. Ray saying BYD has an issue even with market share. They're losing money per vehicle. It's unsustainable. Well, must be doing something right. Biggest company in China for EVs, I guess, new EVs. Lewis is saying, yeah, Roland's probably talking to BYD directly to get a luxury Dolphin model. I hope so. You'd hope so, right? Roland spec. Here we go. I've seen 4 launch edition Tesla Model Ys on the Gold Coast this week, according to Justin. Yeah, I saw one today, actually. Howie says Roland is at the launch of Bonza relaunch. Can't believe Riz missed an invite. Riz, what's going on? Why are you here?
I did. I think it's they're appointing the next board of top spec directors, and Roland just has to be involved.
Yeah, they told you to leave the room, right, Riz?
They did. That's why I'm here.
Aaron got his TAVR scan today. Congratulations, mate. Well done. That's great. Got that for a press card coming up soon as well, so stay tuned, everyone. Awesome. Yes, congrats. Going to Brett as well. I agree with you. All right. Thanks for your comments, everyone. You can see that also in the little pocket down in the bottom right of the screen. Yep. Oh, Gamer's saying, Insta owners of the world unite. I've had mine for 3 months now in Ireland. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah. Yeah, it is a bit slow, but you know what? It's such a small car. I mean, it's fun to drive anyway. Look, I can't say anymore. It's fun. Okay, I'll just put it that way. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the little Neo I saw in China with Riz, actually, at the Shanghai Auto Show. Yeah. It's kind of that small. Yep. 23,000 euro in Ireland for the Insta. Now, it's 39,000 Australian dollars here starting out, so that's actually, yeah, cheap. Well, I don't know what the conversion is right now, but pretty similar, I think. Probably dollar to euro. Okay, well, let's keep moving on. Thanks for the comments, everyone. Let's move on to this story here. So this was spotted in Germany. This looks like Riz, probably a performance Tesla Model Y.
Yeah, so it looks like it from the wheels. They're sort of I can't spell them. The ones that are on the Model S Plaid. So yeah, Tesla's doing some level of testing out there. I think we sort of touched on in the last live stream as well that if it's usually 6 months after the standard cars are launched, so maybe next month is the unveil. Now that we're starting to get a few more of these scoops, which this one is from Car Scoops, of what's being tested, and eventually they will reveal the specs. It's got to be, obviously an improvement on the existing car, but we might touch on this a bit later, but its main rival has finally surfaced. It's not a Model Y killer as far as we can see yet, but it has surfaced in China, which is the Xiaomi
Ah, yes.
YU7, and
YU7.
that has a top spec max version that um, is just a little bit better. Exactly, just a little bit better on the performance front. The max is 3.3 seconds or 3.23 seconds. The top speed is only 3 kilometers higher than the current Model Y or the previous generation Model Y performance. So yeah, it's surfaced, and now Tesla's got to sort of see whether they want to match this or do a bit better.
Now, yeah, 3.23. This is probably without the 1 foot rollout as well, which Tesla tends to quote. So it probably is faster than the Tesla Model Y performance, or at least the old one. And of course, trust Roland to bring us this news. Of course, I'm sure he'll go for the YU7 Max all-wheel drive with the 508 kilowatt, 866 Newton meters. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a shame we didn't get to see this in China. It wasn't at the Shanghai Auto Show, but yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I love that shape, by the way. That beautiful shooting brake shape out the back. Even though I think this is an SUV, but it's still a very nice shape. I've got to say. What did you think of the build quality of the Xiaomi's when you were driving them, Riz?
Very high. Like, I know there's been some reports on the internet about, certain parts having panel issues, panel gaps, and the rest of it.
Mm,
But I think the more they produce, the better they get at it. That's just the way things
yep.
work. We have that on early model Teslas out of, the US as well. But I think the build quality is definitely getting better and better as they're producing more and more. The first batch is always going to have issues, but I didn't see any major sort of quality concerns that stood out. But obviously, owners that have the car for 6, 12, 18 months might be able to find different things. I also like the fact about this U7 is they're not scared to try bold colors. Like, there's even on the SU7, the sedan, they have a magenta, which is very pink. And they have obviously that bright yellow. And I think more car companies need to do that. And, some on the live stream probably also agree that Tesla has not been the best when it comes to colors that pop. And this is an example of sort of the type of ways that Xiaomi is going to be attracting customers. Word on the street, even a couple of days after, is one of the senior executives at Xiaomi Automotive has already said that the demand for this U7 product far exceeds what they had for the SU7 sedan, because China is still a very big SUV market like Australia. So this is going to go gangbusters, this car.
Interesting, because when we were last there were definitely a lot of sedans. So maybe they are starting to get that appetite for SUVs when they see the versatility of it. So yeah, interesting to see what it looks like in a few months or even years to come. As we know, China time is very quick, so things can happen very, very swiftly. We'll see next time we're there. Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to see the different colors that Riz is talking about, not just for Xiaomi, but the different colors around all the different cars, obviously watch the Shanghai Auto walk around that we did early this year. So yeah, China and colors just at next level. Unfortunately we just don't get them here. We get slightly more muted, different palette here in Australia. It's, I guess, horses for courses. Now I should probably also share this. So new Tesla Model X spotted as well. There we go. So front bumper camera, that's good. Still keeping faithful the Model X shape. You can tell it's a Model X straight away. But good to see this getting upgraded. It's a shame we don't get the S and the X in Australia. These are definitely a premium, premium car compared to the 3 and the Y. I think if the S Plaid or S even came back to Australia, I'd strongly consider getting one again. I do love the Model S shape, but I know a lot of Model X fans as well in the audience. So yeah, you never know. I guess Tesla might open that door once again.
The X is, not everyone's cup of tea, but there still is nothing like it in the market. Gullwing doors just still stands out after all these years. It's nearly 10 years old now. I think it was unveiled in 2016. Obviously, good friend of the show, Roland, has one. Speaking of which, I think he's around. His, state of origin and the Bonza meeting might have been a bit quiet for him. So good to see you, Roland.
Is this actually Roland, the real Roland Lamb?
Would the real Roland please stand up?
Please stand up. Well, if it is Roland, hello. Nice to see you, Roland. Thanks for joining us. You're definitely here in spirit. Yes, so yeah, good to see this being updated. Very nice. Yeah, some questions here from the audience. Why is the Xiaomi so long? That's a good question, actually. There's no engine in the front there. Good question.
Yeah, I think they do have a pretty big frunk on the SU7 had a pretty reasonable sized frunk. Also, one of the things I loved about the SU7, or at least the Ultra anyway, is where you've got that repeater camera sort of in front of I think that might be the driver's side door for them. There's a button that you can press and it will open the frunk for you.
Ooh. Okay.
So they've thought about a couple of. I mean, there's some cars in China where you just, knock on the frunk and it opens. There's many other ways that they can open their frunks, but this one is probably a lot of. Well, the SU7 had a big frunk. I'm not sure what the U7 has, but hopefully that's what's in there. This is a dual motor setup, so they do need a little bit of space for their front motor as well. They also have the rear-wheel drive, but yeah, for most people, they'll be going for either the Pro or the Max variant.
Yes, some people are saying it's giving off Ferrari vibes. Interesting. Yeah, look, that's a big compliment. I always thought the SU7 looks like a Porsche Taycan in some angles, so it's not a bad thing. I'll take one for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, as I understand, Riz, it's they're having trouble filling their own domestic market in China for demand, so we might be a little while before we see these come down under. But hey, Xiaomi, happy to also head out to China to test it for you guys for the channel. So if you're watching, Riz and I are here for you.
That's it.
All right. Well, at the halfway mark, let's say thank you to our sponsors as always. Thank you, MyCar, Tyron Auto. Thank you to Hankook Driving Emotion, and thank you to Carloop as well. Thank you, Riz. Data to empower Australia's EV revolution. How's the state of origin going? Still 2-0 to the Blues, 24 minutes in, so we're not missing out too much at this stage. Might have to watch the highlights later on. Thanks for joining us, though, everyone. 88% of you who voted out of 100 are saying you'd rather be here, so thank you for joining us tonight. I know most of you actually watch us on replay anyway, so we decided to press ahead tonight. Given that it's a Wednesday night, this is our slot. We should take it. Now, Riz, now that you're back in Australia, what do you think about this car? Do you think we should go for this? I'm happy to do a timeshare with you for this little baby here. Let's put this back on. There we go. Rolls-Royce Spectre.
Yeah, so look, it does look like a good deal. They could have sort of done it at, maybe 878, 888. I think that could have been that's a missed opportunity. So, whoever's listed this on Auto Trader, brush yourself off and read just the price because, it's just not going to attract the right buyer.
Yeah, 888, 888 I might have considered, but it's just not the right price. This doesn't have the right feng shui, the right chi for me, so I just have to pass, unfortunately. I like the color though. I do like this sort of baby blue color.
It's like sort of what's that one in the Tesla's got now?
Glacier blue.
Yeah,
Glacier blue. Yeah. Hey, speaking of which, everyone, we did a test. Some of you members might have seen it. Me release this video already. All drive versus rear-wheel drive test. It's a 70-minute long video. I'm sorry for the length, but we just had to cover a lot of territory. We took this all over Sydney yesterday, so if you've got an hour 10 to spare over the next few days, watch it. It's going to drop tomorrow. So Tesla Model Y, all drive versus rear-wheel drive. So thank you to Tesla Australia for that very unique opportunity for Joy and I to test both cars. Beautiful cars, by the way. Yes. But we'll have an umbrellas in the door. I think that's probably another $10,000 extra when you thought, Riz.
Easily.
Does it come with machine gun turrets? Yep. I'll have to give that a test drive. Yes. Drive it like you stole it, I would say. Never come back. It's a good car, though. A lot of fun. Now, what shall we talk about? Here we go. Just slightly more Tesla news. Roland keeps joining in the stream without actually being here. Look at this. More pics of the refreshed Tesla Model S spotted at the Nürburgring. We kind of touched on that as well last week with Roland. That's definitely a Tesla. Why do they bother with the camo? It's pretty funny. There you go. Tearing around the track. A very long track. Car scoops as well.
It's interesting, right? Like, where does Tesla see this car sit in its lineup now? We're waiting for, like, I love the Model S, I love the Plaid, and I think it's a really good car. It was a good car in 2021 when it was unveiled and announced, and it was just, the specs were just, earth shattering at that time. And probably still is very close to being on top in most of those 0 to 100 top speed, those sort of specifications. But 5 years down the track, or nearly 5 years down the track, what are they going to be doing to this car? There's still rumors. Last year Elon Musk was quite big on getting the Roadster program happening. There was a lot of buzz around it's happening. Don't know what the upgrades here are. Is Roadster even coming? Is there anything on the more affordable models? Is that where the focus is? Is the focus on robo-taxis? It's a little bit, not too sure, but hopefully this is just sort of a minor performance upgrade, and that there is more performance-focused products that Tesla is so good at, finally bringing out, that we get to see more of those. But this is still a good update for any performance car lovers.
Yeah, absolutely, Riz. I'd love to take a rear-wheel drive version of this in one of the tracks that we've been to, obviously in China, anywhere for that matter, and just fully send it. It would just be unbelievable. I still think, like, I'm biased, but I still think it's the best looking car in the fleet. I gotta say, maybe short of the Roadster, which may or may not come, of course, but best looking production car. Yeah, look at it. I could look at this all day. Beautiful. And I agree with you, Ryan. Steer by wire for Model S and bring the right-hand drive, please. 100%. Not. We'll timeshare. Ryan, me, Riz, Roland. We'll do a four-way.
Yeah,
we'll take one quarter each. No problem. Yeah, that's right. Would love one, definitely. Now let's share this post. Roland keeps popping up. What a legend! He keeps helping us out here. So we talked about this last week. One of our viewers actually told us there was information on Facebook that there was some sort of leak of pricing from Zeekr for the new Zeekr 7X. Now this is still publicly available. The information from Roland, so I'll put it up. Zeekr 7X rear-wheel drive, $65,000 to $70,000. Long range, 70 to 78, and then all-wheel drive, 78 to 85. So there, Riz, I think these are actually quite reasonable pricings for a car of this spec, and we know this thing can charge very well too. So I think they've done. If this is true, I think this is very good pricing.
It's an exceptional price for the type of vehicle it is. Like, it is. It's extremely comfortable. It's got lots of space, lots of tech. Very, very premium on the inside. Something equivalent from, like, I'd say a Mercedes or a BMW would be closer to 110, 120, even in the base spec. So a lot of car, a lot of tech. I think they've got the golden battery in the standard rear-wheel drive. The cheapest model has the world's potentially fastest charging battery, apart from the BYD stuff, which is obviously very new. But yeah, this is quite good, and it's just a beautiful car to look at in person for anyone that's seen it at the shows or in Tom's videos. And we talked about a few funky colors. There's a couple in here. So Zeekr, lots of demand. They're already taking deposits. Anyone that's interested, reach out to a Zeekr dealer, or just drop a deposit on the live stream, and Tom will place an order for you.
That's right. Yeah, I'll put my PayPal account up very shortly. But yeah, I like the colors, Riz. I do like the green, and I like the tech gray. If that's more silvery than gray, I'd go for that one probably.
Yeah.
But I did drop a Geely video last week in a greeny color that my friend has, and don't mind it. It's quite nice. So I'm sort of falling for greens for SUVs, but I think I'll probably still lean towards this one. This blue one looks interesting, but yeah, I'll probably still go gray, I reckon. I do like the orange calipers.
Yeah, they do look cool. I think the calipers are available on the top trim. 7X all-wheel drive. But obviously, we did this a lot last year or so. But for any rappers that are interested, there's a black on black edition that's there as well.
Yeah. Black on the outside and black napper on the inside. Go the whole hog.
And a black wrapper on the inside as well. So it's all about that.
That's very expensive, Riz. I'm not sure I can afford that. But yeah, it looks good. I would, I can't wait to test drive these in Australia and really just feel if they've got the suspension right, because suspension is everything in a family SUV, I think. So we'll see how we go. Michael's saying forest green is the boss. JL also saying I'll take the green, thanks.
It's a lot darker in person. That green, so it's but it's a nice looking green. It does stand out.
Eternally Dell, though I wish they had orange. Come on, it's not Expo.
I think they do have an orange in Europe and in China. I may be wrong, but yeah, anyway, the colors are, if there's enough demand, they might even bring one. I just think just having the car here in the next 3 to 4 months for people to be able to see and experience would be awesome. And if those prices are anything to go by, that will really put Zeekr on the map.
Yeah, I do like the Zeekr design, the 7X GT. I keep coming back to it, but that's the one for me. Yeah.
So even in China, one of the things is like all cars start to look the same in some ways, but every time you see the 7X on the road, or you see the 007 on the road, you still are easy. It's very easy to point those cars out because there's just not much else that's like that. So very, very cool design.
They're distinctive, definitely, Riz. I agree. I think Zeekr is controversial, but I think it's up there. It's like the closest to top for me for design. It does design really well. Tech, I mean, pretty close as well. I think Xpeng's pretty good for tech, but Zeekr is for me the pick of the bunch. Dave's saying, did you see the specs have been stripped back? We'll have to compare spec sheets, obviously, once Andrew releases that in the Australian market. So, Andrew, I know you're watching. Let us know. Happy to release stuff for you. Richard saying anything other than red, blue, and grey. Yeah, let's bring some new colours, eh? I agree. Michael saying a bit like the British racing green. Yeah, that's true. Like the MG kind of racing green. Yeah, that's right. That's a good point here. So 14% are here watching and don't want to be here. Interesting, isn't it? That's it's referring to my poll here that I put up here for what is better, Ludicrous Feed, live stream, or State of Origin. I think the Blues are actually killing it at the moment. 10-0, 32 minutes in, so not quite half time, but I'll probably tune in once we finish up in a few minutes. But 178 viewers in on State of Origin night. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Much appreciated. Janet says, dated a fellow with an MG back in the late 70s, British racing green. Did you date the fellow because of the car? Just asking. It's all right if you did. What about a dark burgundy? Yeah, that's a nice color too. It's that winey kind of red. Yep.
Seen that on, I think, some of the Huawei Ito or their luxury cars, sort of the real sort of EQS large SUV segment sort of cars. They have that burgundy, the real dark burgundy, and it looks really nice.
Yeah, agreed. It's stunning. All right, let's keep pushing on. So we have more Tesla news because Tesla has probably the most reliable supercharger, DC charging network in Australia. Here's Tom Drew, Country Director for Australia and New Zealand, telling us that in Batemans Bay, which is on the coastal route from Sydney to Melbourne, has now 6 stalls, open access to all CCS2 compatible vehicles. That's fantastic. I assume that's part of the New South Wales charging grant, Riz?
I would say so, yeah.
That's fantastic. Like, that just makes life a lot easier for all cars, not just Teslas. So that's great. Very good to see.
Speaking of cars, now, what's going on with Xpeng?
What is going on with Xpeng?
In supercharging. Is any owners, any drivers that are on the live stream that have friends that have this G6, is it charging? Is it not charging? Because a lot of people's decisions are hinging on that.
Agreed, Riz. And also, what's the deal with deliveries? Apparently, it's being delayed as well. Confusion.
Yeah, some people are getting them in a couple of weeks, and other people are, waiting a couple of months. So hopefully those delivery issues can get resolved. But the supercharging one, I'm a bit curious about, because Tesla continues to roll out the network and they are doing an exceptional job, way above and beyond what anyone else is doing at the moment.
Yep.
And if people are unable to charge their vehicles at particularly these government-funded sites, then I always sort of think, in my head, the whole BYD saga comes back on, and say they knew there was a problem, they knew it was hardware, they didn't do anything, and now we've got thousands of stranded owners that don't know what to do.
Yeah,
But on
it's
the
a bit
other
sad.
hand,
Mm.
the Xpeng G6s apparently were working, but are not working anymore. But then some people say if you plug in and plug out enough times, 8 to 10 times apparently seems to be the method, then apparently it starts to work. Now, who is the one that's stopping the handshake from happening? If we look at the BYD saga, it's the car.
Yep.
And I can't imagine Tesla designing hardware to limit, or software inside to limit,
One
certain
brand.
vehicle
Yeah.
types, from charging. Then comes the question, it's an 800-volt car. So are the EV6s and the Hyundai Ioniq 5s, 6s, the rest of them. So they can charge. They might not be charging at 250 kilowatts. They can still charge at 130, 140. So a lot going on there. And then we know the Zeekrs can charge. This X is, I think, a 400-volt car in Australia.
Yep.
The 7X, which we just spoke about, is 800-volt. I 98% think it will work. No dramas at all. So yeah, something's up with Xpeng, and we need to know what it is. Is it the 2025 model that we need to be waiting for the
Well,
G6?
Which, I mean, it's already out in Hong Kong and China, and is it going to come soon to Australia? Will it be the next batch after this batch gets delivered? It's a lot of questions here. And look, the Sea Lion 7, the Seal, they're all nominally 800 volts. They're just limited to 500 volts, so they can charge at a Tesla Supercharger still. So, Riz, that's very true. I mean, there's something going on with that brand. Why can they not charge, right? This is very curious. Because, as you know, like New South Wales particularly has funded Tesla to build these chargers, and they've done a great job. This is what's rolling out very shortly across the state because of this government funding. So a lot of these sites are in Sydney, which is great for inner city kind of dwellers, but also around the state too. So we're seeing a charger coming to Jindabyne, which is very good, for the snowy mountains, of course. All throughout Sydney, so all parts I can see, just because I know Sydney fairly well, not just the north or the east, but in the inner west as well, and out west and northwest, Sydney Olympic Park. So it's great. It's really good to see this getting rolled out. And playing state of origin here, I think New South Wales is really gonna jump the score. It's going to be a long way for Victoria and Queensland to catch up, unfortunately.
Well, look, let's not talk about Victoria, because there's many things that, while New South Wales continues to invest heavily in EV infrastructure and incentives and other things, we're not moving at all. So it will be, as far as I can see, I'd say it now, New South Wales is 5 years ahead of where Victoria is in the fast charging infrastructure that is in the ground, the number of bays, the things that people want. And I think that was part of the original plan when they started to get the co-funding grants out for fast charging infrastructure. We did it a couple of years ago. There was a live stream with the team here, Tom, from New South Wales government, who spoke about the number of bays and sort of the vision around EV strategy for New South Wales. And yeah, here in Victoria, EVs, what are they? Strategy, what's that?
That's right. Yeah, we've had the New South Wales guys on the stream. We're very, very good with us, very transparent too. And this is the fruit of their labour. A good charging network in the state. So it's good. Yes, ads saying every time a journo says shooting break, do you count me and Riz as journos? I mean, I'm definitely not a journo, so I will just keep saying shooting break, shooting break. Maybe a state, we could change to a state. Xpeng should take over local operations like BYD. Well, I guess watch this space, right? The new P7 looks good, I agree. We talked about that
gorgeous.
last week. Yeah, looks great. Curious that Zeekr and Xpeng didn't apply to these government-supported programs. I don't think Zeekr were in the country when they sort of had these grants rolling out. So maybe the next round, Zeekr might have to apply. And Leon saying, now that BYD parent now in Australia, hoping we can see their charger network roll out. Me too, Leon. That'd be great. Yep. Stuart saying Tesla charger network in Tassie basically non-existent, but I think you guys have a pretty good DC network too, from what I can see. Yep. Thank you, Jason. Yes, I actually wouldn't mind doing the coastal route as well for a EV holiday. I think it'd be great now that Tesla's got some supercharging stations en route. It'd be much easier for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for your comments, guys. That's great. We are almost at the end. 195 viewers. Thank you for watching, everyone. Almost in halftime in the Origin. It is now 14-0 New South Wales. And here we go, rolling again. What a legend, hey? Here we go. MGS5 EV receives 5-star ANCAP rating. That's what we want to see for a new car. Very nice. And also very competitively priced as well. Not a bad looking car.
It ticks so many boxes. Just all the changes we spoke about this on the stream before. All the changes we were expecting MG to make. I saw the early reviews out of the UK, and I was like, I don't know if they've done it, but then I think they've done an amazing job here. So lots of good things about this car, and with 5-star ANCAP rating. We spoke about Hyundai and Kia being so well entrenched in fleets. MG is actually not too far behind. We've spoken about MG4s being in a lot of fleet vehicles, councils and others, and I'm hoping that the adoption of this car will replace a lot of their RAV4 and other ICE SUV fleet. So well done, MG. I think this is an awesome vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen this at the Melbourne show last month, a couple of months ago, and got to sit in it recently, and got a press car coming to the channel as well. And this is going to be a very interesting drive because I will be able to directly compare this to the Geely EX5, which I drove recently. I think the two cars side by side will be a very good comparison. This is rear-wheel drive as well, so might be a better drive. I don't know. We'll see. And I guess the tech, Riz, that's the only thing. I mean, MG seems to always be, dare I say it, a little bit behind. Like the MG4 is definitely a couple of generations behind, but we'll see what the MG5 looks like.
Yeah.
Yep. I also heard today someone said on my channel that the Geely EX5's Apple CarPlay update is coming very soon.
It was supposed to be, I believe they were saying Q3 was when it was supposed to happen. Now, my understanding with the S5 is that it's already there because our Android Auto works straight away.
Yes.
I'm not allowed to take Apple products on Bonza flights, so I have to try my Android stuff. So yeah, that worked fine. I think it also has wireless.
Yeah, the car I sat in was plugged in, and Apple CarPlay worked okay. So we'll have to try wireless as well. Yeah. Yeah, so it should be good. And yeah, doesn't look too bad actually. So it will be definitely a huge upgrade from the ZS EV.
And one very, very big thing that I think is, I don't know why they're not talking about this more. 10 years warranty. That is insane.
That's huge.
10 years warranty on this car. Like, you could buy this car 5 years down the track, sell it to somebody who's looking for a used EV, and they would feel confident that they've got another 5 years of warranty left on this, on the battery, on the EV itself. And I think it's a really, really good overall package. But as you say, Tom, the tech is one thing to be tested.
Definitely. Yes, they're not all made equal, unfortunately. So we'll give you our thoughts on the channel for sure. Otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight, everyone. I just got one more question from Leon, which reminds me of what I need to plug tonight, which is, of course, the Melbourne EV Show coming up in June. And any expectations on what new cars we might see at Melbourne? We don't have any confirmation yet, I don't think, Riz, at this stage.
No, not too sure yet. We haven't seen the final sort of layout, and I think that's still being worked out. But what did we have last time? We had Xpeng, we had Zeekr, and this is not what's going to be there, but that's what we had last time. We had
Mm.
BMW showcase some of their products. That was a electric SUV show, so a lot of focus was on electric SUVs, where this is more broader. There's I know for anyone that's interested, there's a huge part of it is on V2G. So vehicle to grid stuff, the tech, there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of talks. Real owners are talking on stage about their experiences, focus on charging. They're still thinking there may even be something to do with flying cars, something to do with autonomous vehicles, a bit of test driving, test on the track. There'll be test drives available to people that are interested in driving some of the newer cars. So a lot is going to be happening there. And I think it's just so convenient. And I think this is the other thing, that everything electric show is not the most convenient show to get to for a lot of people. We're here in Melbourne. Everyone knows where the convention center is. It's so easy to get there, so easy to get back. So I think, take advantage of, Tom's link there. I think tickets will be quite scarce the closer we get to the show.
Yeah, that's right, Riz. It's right in town in Melbourne on the on the south side of the river, isn't it? Just across the CBD from Southern Cross Station. Yeah, I mean, if the Sydney EV show is anything to judge by, lots of cars. We had last year, we had Xpeng, we had D-Power was there, we had MG, Cherry. Not MG, sorry. Cherry was there. Yeah, definitely. And Ford was there as well, I think, from memory. Kia was out the front. So hopefully we'll see a similar turnout as well. Riz, I'm very keen to be watching and being part of the talks as well. It's always good to see audience questions as well, more engagement and interaction with the audience. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
So, a bit of a sneak peek as to what happened last time at the Sydney show. Tom, I think we can share this story now.
Please.
Now, there was some sort of a confusion. I was supposed to be on the stage with Tom and a few others, and as it turned out, I got sidetracked by one of our good viewers of the show, Chris Wood, and we were having a look at a few of the cool EVs there. And then I said to Chris that, hey, maybe I'll go and check out at the stage at the back what time I'm supposed to be on. And as I woke up and it says I'm supposed to be on there at that time, and I was supposed to be on there 20 minutes ago, I basically ran up, and I felt so embarrassed, thinking, geez, something's gone wrong here. I thought I was on 11, but it was at 10. So look, I'll try my best to be on time for most of the talks this time around, Tom.
All good, Riz. No, it's fine. We were looking for you. I was doing this, but you walked right on Hollywood style, and it was all good. Great entrance as always from Riz.
Thanks.
Jumped into conversation like nothing happened at all. Very smooth. All right, we might finish up the poll as well. So 131 votes for Ludicrous Feed live stream versus State of Origin 1. Thank you to the 89% of people who said yes, our show. And also thank you to the 11% of people who said State of Origin, but still watched the show as well. So much appreciated to all of you. So 100% turnout. Well done, everyone.
And yes, Leon, if just quickly on the show again, yes, if fans do bring out EV charging cable.
Oh, how funny. I will bring my silver Sharpie, and I think Riz will as well. We'll sign it for you, no problem. Too funny. Definitely sign it.
Sorry.
Too good. Yeah, powered by Ludicrous Feed. Whatever you want, I'll write it for you, no problem. All good. As always, thank you, Riz Akhtar, for your company and your insights tonight on the EV show.
Anytime, Tom. Thanks, everyone, for sharing. Roland, big shout out. Basically half the show was all the things that Roland shared, which is great. So keep that up, and I'm sure we'll try and get a couple more top spec cars on the show when you can join us.
Grandpa says, surprised Riz didn't drive the rolls onto the stage. You never know, right? You never know these things. That's why you got to come along and see. All right. Thanks, everyone. And thanks to you, the viewer, for watching us on the replay and also on audio podcast as well. Much appreciated. And until next week on the show, that's all from Riz and myself. Take care, everyone, and have a good night. Happy charging. Take care. Bye.